Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Post, publisher of more than 1,000 comic books. Well, it's time for us to talk about this. Namor has been ruined by Kevin Feige and the rest of the crew at Marvel. Now, of course, they would prefer that you call him Namor, and I can do that pronunciation, and sometimes I will, and sometimes I won't. It's completely up to me. But it is time for us to talk about this because you take this little guy, and nothing against this guy, but he looks like the son that Namor had that he's disappointed with, and not like he's got some sort of a royal air about him. I mean, you compare Prince Namor, Submariner, with this little guy, and I don't know how tall he is, but he looks like he's 5 feet tall. There's nothing wrong with being 5 feet tall, but you don't have a commanding presence like this. Also, would have been a good idea to hit the gym. I'm just saying for this particular role. All right, there are 2 great articles on bounding into comics. This covers a lot of it. Doesn't cover all of what's wrong with Namor. And of course, we're not even touching on supposed Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which is not really the Black Panther. It's the world of Wakanda. That's a different video. But for this one, Black Panther Wakanda Forever producer claims Namor is the voice of the colonized, which he is not. Second article, Marvel Studios boss Kevin Feige officially confirms Atlantis does not appear in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, even though they're introducing Namor, and even though, of course, Prince Namor is from Atlantis. All right, let's get into the article. Before we do, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up when you like it. You guys have been amazing. The channel is growing really fast. It lets me do more and more of these videos. Really appreciate you. Black Panther Wakanda Forever producer Neymar recently claimed that the film depicts Namor, or Namor, as the voice of the colonized. Okay, he's actually from Atlantis. During an interview with Phase Zero, Moore spoke about Namor and his depiction of the upcoming Marvel Studios film. When asked what he wanted Namor to be in the MCU, Moore replied, "We thought it was really interesting both to bring a little bit of the attitude of Namor from publishing, who's always known as being incredibly arrogant and sort of confident, but also to ground it in a real conflict." Okay. Moore continued, "And I think when Ryan decided to really anchor the world of Talokan, yeah, they're using Talokan instead of Atlantis because of no reason, in Mayan culture, and to have Namor be a little bit of the voice of the colonized, it gave him a reason for that arrogance and a reason for that attitude." He added, "And Tenoch really brings that to life in a way that we were so impressed by." Well, it makes him look like an angry kid who didn't get enough love or something like that, doesn't fit in with his friends. He's just like not one of the cool princes of Atlantis. He doesn't look like he's been colonized to me. But that is not what Namor is. And the reason that he could be arrogant would... You tell me what you think of this in the comments below. I'm just going to make the suggestion, wild suggestion, that kings tend to be arrogant. Like royalty tends to be arrogant. It kind of goes with being, royalty. Prince, Namor. So he's royalty. Moore would also discuss the way Namor's name is pronounced in the film. A recent clip from the film sees Huerta pronouncing Namor's name Namor, rather than the typical pronunciation of Namor. Moore explained, "Namor, I would say, he's obviously given that name also by someone in the film, so it's not even something that it's from him. But there is certainly a way that a Spanish speaker or even a Mayan speaker would say Namor versus a way that an English speaker or someone who's a little bit more Western in slant might say Namor. And we thought that was just interesting." Well, I mean, sure, if you're going to change his background, you just say like, well, he's from a, Mayan culture, so he's going to speak differently and have different traditions, and then he's not really going to be Namor. He's going to be just like this guy being called Namor, which is like, well, it's like when people are named Jesus, for example, which is a fine name, but they're not Jesus Christ. They're Jesus. They're Jesus sometimes. It depends how it's pronounced from whatever the culture is. But Namor in this movie is not Namor. He's Namor. He doesn't have the same background. He's not the same character. He doesn't have this drive to overwhelm whatever, or have revenge on the colonizers. That's not what the character is whatsoever. So they just basically took the name of the character and changed the pronunciation and gave it no history. It's just completely ridiculous. It's really that people face, and it felt more genuine to have everybody pronounce it correctly. I mean, you could, this is comics the film. You can pronounce things any way you want to pronounce it, make whatever name you want to make. If you want to say that it's based on this character, no, you can't do that, because then it's no longer based on this character. It's just something else that you felt like messing with. Namor's name being given to him by his enemies rather than his own people is another drastic change from the comics for the character. In the saga of Submariner number 1, Namor's mother, Fen, declares his very name will be a beacon to show him what the realm will one day expect of him. Namor then details, Namor was I born, avenging son, spawn of two worlds, yet fated to fully belong to none. Sounds very royal. This is just another in a growing list that proves the character being called Namor in Black Panther Wakanda Forever is not actually Namor. Well, that's fine, because Black Panther is not actually in Wakanda Forever. What are they doing? Who runs stuff like this? Marvel, Kevin Feige, and Bob Chapek, and Kathleen Kennedy. But it's some character altogether just using Namor's name. What do you make of Moore's explanation regarding how Namor is pronounced in the film? What about his description of Namor as the voice of the colonized? And they have great comment section as well on Bounding into Comics. I'll make sure I give you a link to this so you can check it out further. Maybe make your own comment there. I love your comments in my video as well, of course. Marvel Studios boss Kevin Feige officially confirms Atlantis does not appear in Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I mean, imagine they could have introduced Atlantis, which is this, famed city that many people throughout the world have heard of, and there are all sorts of very cool understandings of Atlantis and their technology, things like that. No, they want to take him completely away from Atlantis because that might be cool, and it's more important to just try to pretend that he's Mayan and to just pretend that he was colonized. In further confirmation that the Marvel Cinematic Universe's version of Namor is only the classic hero in Latin-accented name only, Marvel Studios boss Kevin Feige has officially confirmed that the underwater kingdom protected by the wing-footed warrior in Black Panther Wakanda Forever is explicitly not Atlantis. Okay, so Atlantis is not being protected. Feige revealed that the change to Namor's homeland while speaking to Marvel Entertainment on the red carpet at Black Panther Wakanda Forever's October 26th world premiere. Asked for his insight into the creative process behind bringing the Submariner to the silver screen, Feige explained, Namor, as the Marvel fans know, is of one, if not the original Marvel hero. It's actually great to go ahead and destroy and misrepresent the original Marvel hero. We'll see. Maybe the story is phenomenal, but there's kind of no excuse to take that much away from the character and that much away from the history of Prince Namor. It's not editorial sound. It actually makes no sense. Okay, so he might be the original Marvel hero. He and the Human Torch almost the same time, and you'd think that Kevin Feige might actually know which one came first, by the way. So forever, it's been on our list. I remember 18 years ago putting together, I think we even commissioned this script 18 years ago. Like, was he even paying attention at all? And the timing was never right. The idea was never right, he continued. Okay. Then Ryan Coogler on the first movie started pitching a war between kingdoms, Feige further recalled. And the idea of actually adding a cultural specificity to Namor. And that's certainly what he's done to the movie. Okay, and that's certainly what he's done to the movie. Added cultural specificity. That's what was missing. To this end, the baseball cap-clad producer, Kevin Feige, concluded his thoughts on Namor by clarifying, and it's not Atlantis, it's Talokan. Okay? And I can't wait for people to meet the Talokanil, presumably the name for the kingdom's people, and Namor. Why not use Atlantis? Tell me why you think they didn't use Atlantis in the comments below, if you would please. I'd love to see what you have to say. Though the name Talokan had previously been used by the film's promotional materials to refer to Namor's kingdom, its use by Feige in his red carpet interview marks the first instance of it being used in any sort of official capacity. Likely done in order to bring the character more in line with his new Mesoamerican background, this change to Atlantis is not the first such alteration made to Namor's backstory in his leap to the silver screen. Marvel's first mutant, he's the first mutant now, has also seen his appearance take on a more ancient Aztec Mayan-inspired look. His origin as the half-blooded son of an Atlantean and a Scottish-American sailor completely removed. Just take away his whole history. Why not? It's kind of like a cultural genocide when you take away people's whole history, by the way. It's not a good thing to do. And his name even given a new, more Latin pronunciation. Rather than being pronounced Namor, like the original comics, that would be Namor, it will be pronounced Namor, in order to bring the character more fully in line with his new Aztec Mayan origins. I have many names, explains the wing-footed mutant in a clip from the film shared by Marvel. My people call me Coogler, but my enemies call me Namor. Huh? Maybe I should have done this film. Tell me if you think I should do voiceovers, perhaps for Namor or some other purpose. Let me know what you think of them basically, honestly, ruining Namor. They removed Namor. They've ruined his background. They took Atlantis away from him. I mean, he's been colonized by Kevin Feige, hasn't he? Kevin Feige has ruined his life as a character. He could have been something important. He could have introduced the whole world of Atlantis. But instead, like, no, he's the son that Namor would be embarrassed to have. That's who he is to me. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Be sure to be subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up when you like it. And I will see you again soon with another video. And if I don't see you,